All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope everyone can hear me just fine. For people watching on Zoom, can you guys just sanity check that you guys can hear me? Had some issues with Zoom here this morning. We're good. All right, perfect. But yeah, hope everyone's having themselves a great AM. You guys are ready for what should hopefully be a reasonably interesting trading day. Expecting it to be maybe like a little bit of a trap day here today to a certain extent, right? Yesterday we had extreme volatility, a freaking massive move. I don't normally do this to myself. I don't usually torture myself with hypothetical gains. But yesterday, right, we closed at like 63 and then it sold off another subsequent, 250 points. So it's like one of those things where it probably left something like 200 grand on the table per account, which is a little bit absurd to say out loud, but just kind of shows, right, what a crazy session yesterday actually was. And yeah, I think that that's going to be pretty interesting. I've been obviously working on that dashboard here. It's coming along really nicely. I'll show you guys the where we're at with it right now, or at some point here today. But yeah, still looks like it's reasonably on pace. A few things I need to improve on it. Basically just like for hosting capabilities. So the current platform where it's being created on, it's going to have the ability to basically hold 5 to 20 traders at a time, which is, nice, but not what we're looking for. So I got to figure out a way to, get it hosted on AWS or some sort of web platform. So that'll be my project here for this weekend. So hoping I can get that sorted out for Monday. If not, I should be able to get it done for Tuesday, but I'll be at it here all weekend. So really excited to see this thing, how it gets done. But yeah, it is really exciting, guys. I'm super stoked on this. I've been literally working on it 24 hours a day, and I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's going to be freaking awesome. All right. I'm getting distracted here. So first things first, economic calendar here this morning. We got PMI at 9:45, and then orange folder data here at 10. That's actually kind of a why the sell-off happened, Willard? Is that what you're asking? I mean, truth be told, the only answer I have in those scenarios, right, is there were more sellers than buyers. When there's a pretty extreme market move like that, right? It's generally not just like one catalyst. It's a combination of a bunch of different things. So pretty, yeah. Like I don't, I don't ever really. I know it's not a very good answer, but I don't like to give like one specific reason most of the time for why price action happened. Tends to not work that way in my experience, and you get a little bit too stuck on it. So simply just more buyers or more sellers than buyers. We had big sell off, a trending market that is open to downside moves, and we got kind of all of our ducks to line up in a row. All right. So it's gonna be a 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. Right, we would be potentially interested in a mean reversion, but I'd be careful. We're looking at 6,600 as our starting point to the upside. Again, very cautious to the upside. All right, and then to the downside here, our pre-market low is 65.20. All right, so we have a few more levels mapped out here to the downside just to account for that narrative. But we'll see. Yeah, NVIDIA for sure, CD, right? Big driver of that. But even if we go back to remembering it yesterday, NVIDIA had a huge gap up, right? And then that faded. So we'll see. All right, NQ. So red candle decrease, or sorry, increasing volume gap up, right? Red or green candle here this morning. So we're 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume. Okay. We're looking for a 24.4. That's our target. Okay. And then to the downside here, our pre-market low is 23.9. Gosh. That's plenty. Sweet. Okay, CL. Not quite an inside bar, lower low, lower high. But it's a decreasing volume. So it's a 2 out of 3 to the downside without vol. And then again, we just have to be a little bit careful here with these prop limits. 5% is going to come fast. So we'll push that to 56. It's going to be our max. And our first pre-market target here is 57.50. And we can go down to 56. Yeah, like to be honest, Roberto, like I care about price and volume. So if a narrative shows up that's significant and the market cares about it, the beautiful thing about our system is we will see all those participants kind of like getting giddy and running up and down the stairs and creating a lot of noise. And then we'll be able to jump in, right? And that's what we're going for. So yeah, it means that we can be technicians and we don't have to be academics, right? I think that there's I don't know, maybe a bias for a lot of traders to want to make the smartest move, right? They want to try to outsmart the market. I don't want to try to do that. I'm basically trying to not out dumbass myself, right? So I'm trying to make my system like self-sabotage proof basically as much as possible. I want to avoid my obvious mistakes. And if I do a good job of that, I'll make a ton of money. And I don't need to worry about the ego validation of like academically being the smartest trader in the room. Don't give a shit about that. So that's a big reason of why I trade this way. It makes life easier. Or it makes the ego easier. I think that's probably a better way of describing it. All right, 3 for 3 to the downside. Tesla, 2 out of 3 without volume, or with volume, sorry. Microsoft, technically a gap down, so we'll call this a 3 for 3. Amazon, 1 for 3. AMD, 2 out of 3 with vol. Again, big reaction post NVIDIA. NVIDIA, 2 out of 3 with vol. Expecting a big vol. We got that. Okay. Meta, green candle decreasing volume gap down. So 2 out of 3. Netflix, 3 for 3. Google, setting up as an inside bar, 1 for 3. And then the old Vixaruni, 25 spot 4-3. So pretty intense, I guess, if you want to call it that. And yeah, should be a pretty interesting pretty interesting trading day. Any questions here, team? How's everyone feeling? Hey, Tyler. So the volume candles, I don't use them at all, like for entry decisions. Truth be told, like I'm a vain son of a gun. So when I was looking, I don't know, this was maybe a year ago, maybe longer at this point. I don't know. But I was looking at a pattern one day, and I felt like I wasn't. I don't know. I felt like I had like crusty eyes or something along those lines, and just like couldn't see things very well, or like I was like looking at a fog a little bit. And when I switched the volume candles, I just liked the way things looked. So it just made things like stand out a little bit more to me. I don't actually use them at all for like any entry decisions. It's literally just like a visual preference type thing, or I think that it makes it a little bit easier for me to have that visual setup. So I don't use it for any technical reason. I use it purely for superficial. I like her curves type reason. All right. Any questions here before we get started, guys? All right, perfect. So yeah, like I said, we've got 9:45 data here today, so I would expect it to maybe be a little bit of a slower start to the AM, right? So we've got data PMI at 9:45, and then we've got more data here at 10. Yeah, realistically, right? Probably wait to see if that thing can clear out, and like if that gives us kind of a nice narrative for us to trade. So we'll see if that ends up being the scenario here this morning, but yeah, can hopefully get ourselves some nice action here today. All right, so 40 seconds here till market open, guys. I'm just gonna go fill up my cup of coffee, and then we'll jump back on here in a second or two, and we'll get ready for what should hopefully be a strong trading day. All right, so let's get after it here. See what's in store. Already a very big range. Already a massive range, actually. And now trading view won't low. There it is. So 100 points, right, to start the session off. Pretty punchy. So let's see how this thing comes together. I mean, definitely a good sign for volatility, right? Definitely a good sign. I will say here today, guys, right? Like my sleep this week has been been a lot less than normal. Just because I've literally been working on this project from the moment I wake up till the moment I go bed, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. So I'm staying up way later than I normally should. Uh, so I've been running on like 5 or 6 hours of sleep this entire week. That's not to say anything specific, but what it tells me, or like what my I don't know, my brain is firing at here. Not great, Nick. Sleep score's not great. Um, but it just means I'm a little bit tired, right? A little bit exhausted, and so the potential to like make tilt driven decisions or to get on tilt is going to be probably higher than if I was feeling at my absolute sharpest, right? From a sleep perspective or just from like a recovery perspective. That's not to say that I'm going to be a terrible trader here today. No, I've been trading totally fine here this week, but the bias here is just to make sure that I'm kind of capping my number of decisions, because if things kind of start to spiral out of control when you have like a less sharp nervous system because you're not as well rested, you're more likely to basically venture into those tilt states, right? A lot easier to stay in them and basically sleepwalk through the trading day. It's not my intention to do that. I don't have any plans to do that. But I'm going to be a little bit more proactive, right? Kind of how I was yesterday and how I was the day before, to basically make sure I'm not doing anything stupid and costing myself any money unnecessarily. Sometimes, Kath, sometimes. All right, so good little breakdown here, but not enough volume. So we're probably waiting anyway. I'm going to be skeptical, probably the right word, to trade prior to this 9:45 data, right? It's red folder. It's expected to have a big impact. We want to be a little bit patient. That's interesting, Samuel. I haven't heard that. Creatine's kind of a magical like eighth wonder of the world. It seems like. Oh, I mean the nicotine gum part I've got down. I wouldn't worry about that. I hear that, Sam. I absolutely hear that. I think sleep performance is definitely one of the most underrated. So again, still not that increasing volume. Probably not going to get a great A plus setup here until that data drops. So no real rush. I like that idea, Roberto. I don't think you're the only one who has that same mindset. Yeah, I never was into like chewing tobacco, at least not when I stopped playing lacrosse. Yeah, I've got fond things to say about nicotine. Yeah, so far so big ranges, but slow. It's kind of an oxymoron. Ain't that the truth, John? I think any sports that have bro culture love the dip, right? Baseball players, hockey players, lacrosse players. I'm sure there's more. Probably not the water polo team, but just about everybody else. Again, so still not an increasing volume profile here. So yeah, realistically, probably not going to get a setup before 9:45. Now the 10 a.m. data, it's interesting. Like it's going to be revised statistics, right? Sentiment, consumer sentiment. I don't know if that's going to be as big impact, right, as PMI potentially. So maybe we can get a trade or something we'll set up post 9:45 and we can get something to move and shake for us, but we're going to have to wait and see. Ooh. Austin was a great little spot. Great. Yeah, so far so slow here, guys. We have to be pretty patient. And then just a reminder here, team, right? Next week is Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday for Americans. That makes things just a little bit funky. We did Clint, of course. Um, so the Thanksgiving holiday makes things a little bit funky, and it can create scenarios where um like things can be maybe a bit like segmented day wise, right, from a trading perspective. I would expect Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to be completely normal. Markets will be closed on Thursday, and I think it's a half day on the Friday. um so I don't know if the Thursday obviously won't be tradable because markets won't be open. And I don't know if the Friday will be worth trading. Historically, it's not a day I really trade. Um, but we'll talk about that, I guess, a little bit later on in the week. But we'll see how it goes. I went as J Rock, J to the ROC, baby. But so far, very uh choppy. I think is the right term to describe it. Oh, they're all hilarious. I mean, I love that show. We're probably going to get the volume here, but we're so close to that 9:45 data that I'm going to have to just filter this thing out. But this would be the right volume profile for a possible reversal. I just don't think we have enough time to get the fake out, find an entry, and close the trade before 9:45. So we're going to be patient here. And again, guys, like if we don't get a trade here today, no big deal, right? I think a lot of people had their biggest ever days yesterday, which I think is awesome. So we don't need to be like in a scenario where we need to press or push or force things or do whatever. Got to be a little bit disciplined or a little bit deliberate. Cool. All right, be right back, guys. One sec. All right, so data dropped. No, the latency on YouTube is no more than 3 seconds and KX1112. If that is unsatisfactory to you, ask your DTR advisor to send you a Zoom link. Any delay that's longer than 3 seconds is on your end. Zoom is the equivalent of having a conversation, right? So if you think that there's latency when you have a conversation with people, you're a fucking dumbass. So that should be totally reasonable. All right, so we have a possible chance here for some increasing volume. Still about a minute to go, so we got some time. Let's see how this closes. The greatest candle shape here, right? Kind of a little bit indecisive. Maybe we can get a reversal candle actually a little bit. Oh, no, I might have jinxed it. Yeah, jinxed it. At least that makes one of us, Kyle. It's the first day of the ski and snowboard season here in Whistler. Mountain opens up today. I don't think there's too much snow, but just like walking around town and like seeing all my neighbors are now filled out with Airbnbs. I think there's a lot of Kahlua and coffee around me here this morning. Yeah, well, it will be a good time once the mountain gets a bit more snow, but I think only like one or two runs are open and there's not much there. It's a great place, Michael. I love it here. Oh yeah, we'll have. I mean, in a couple weeks, Logan, it'll be just as world class as what you get in Colorado, but it just takes a bit of time. Yeah, so with YouTube, you basically just have to make sure that the live button is clicked and then that the playback speed is at 2x. Because Shaggy, like you're saying, when you have like any buffering or whatever, it doesn't kick you back to live by default. It gets you back to where you continue to watch the movie or the stream or whatever it is. So yeah, like if you have any buffering or internet issues, it puts you really far behind, which can be quite the pain in the ass. But yeah, like you said, easy fix. Again, not really much for me to do here yet. Still relatively indecisive PA. Maybe on this 5 minute, I would maybe have something. Quick little sanity check to the market. Maybe a little bit more bullish momentum than I would have expected so far. I mean, not a ton more, but a little bit. We shall see. Oh, I bet. Yeah. But not my strategy. So, gonna have to stay away. even the 2 minutes like pretty light on volume, which is a bit surprising. So like that sneaky suspicion, right, was is at least maybe early on being proven correct, right? We expected today to be a little bit of a trap day just because of the size of yesterday's move, right? The size and intensity of yesterday's move. Um, uh, the the market fucked so many people yesterday that it's just sitting in bed smoking. So Rach B, the fix, right, is make sure that the button is clicked red. Like so it says live, and then your playback speed, set it to 2x. So then if you buffer, right, it'll catch you up. Now we're double dipping, market miner. Now we're talking. It's Forex Factory, Jason. It's just Forex Factory. Again, still not the increasing volume. Hey, if we recover the entire move from yesterday, I would be shocked. I would be very, very shocked. I mean, we'll see. Like in my experience, usually sell-offs, and maybe a bit anecdotal, but usually sell-offs will happen really aggressively, right? 1 or 2 days or 3 days or a week. And then it takes, 2 weeks, right, for it to recover, or a month for it to recover type thing. So it like flushes quickly, climbs back slowly type thing. I mean, Joe, it's completely absurd TV show, but hopefully you'll like it. It's Canadian culture at its finest. I've not seen Letterkenny actually. Hey, big rejection here. Okay, a little bit, maybe of a suboptimal close. I would have preferred to have seen it break, close, and hold under our 2R range, or our opening range, sorry. Oh God, hopefully he kept his hands to himself, Greg. Gosh, that's terrifying. Oh. I just came up with another analogy here. The market fucked so many people yesterday that we may as well call her Bonnie Blue. Give the pre-market counts not a 2 for 3 to the downside with volume. It's a Bonnie Blue. I'll be here all week, guys. Don't worry. She's a nice lady. I'm sorry. You fixed her. Sonia, please don't Google her. Please don't. She's a OnlyFans model who is quite famous for dealing with hundreds of men at a time. Let's put it that way. Can't laugh, you gotta cry, right? So we don't have too many options. Again, it's kind of some high range chop so far, right? Pretty big candles. You got a lot of stuff that's moving like 50 points for fun. Yeah, she's a quite a character. Oh God, Logan. Oh, we got a bunch of sickos in the chat. I love it. Okay, so let's see. We maybe have a chance here on NQ to the downside. Let's keep an eye here. So it's a nice little breakout setup, right? Our target would be, 960-ish. So we're going to want to see this thing fake out, though, first, right? See some sort of bearish failure. Right, bullish failure. Apologies. It's early. If it doesn't happen on the 2-min, we'll have a good chance here on the 3. But I want to see a fake out above 142 now, right? If I were to use the aggressive entry technique, my stop loss would be at 142. So I want to see basically bulls fail to reclaim that. And then once they fail, I should have an opportunity. So my targets here are based on my indicator. So my profit target is automatically calculated based on my indicator. So I don't really look at the overnight levels. I have it pre-populated for me at that 964 based on what the volatility was of the opening range. So it's all automated for me, so I can make that process even simpler. Okay, well, I'm not getting a on the 2-min, so we're gonna check this out on the 3. Same thing, right? We want to see now a fake out above like 107.50. Let's see. Okay, let's see, right? Possible little fake out there. I'd say so far not quite behaving like a bullish failure, right, at these lows, at least not yet. So we still got some time here. Yeah, I don't trade on the 1-min. Not that valuable to me. Too noisy. And the trend of the general market, right, is to the downside. So I don't want to go like super short-term signal counter trend move. Like that for me is like being a salmon swimming upstream. And I'm a human, albeit not a great one sometimes, but I'm definitely not a salmon. So I want to keep my life easy for me with how I'm trading. If I get a reversal or I get a scenario that gives me that opportunity, sweet. But I don't want to swim or trade counter trend. It's not worth it, especially when the market is trending this aggressively to the downside. Like my objective here on a daily basis is to find what is the perceived easiest move of the day, right? So where's the one where I'm going to have the least amount of resistance, the least amount of roadblocks, the least amount of headaches? Zooming in super short-term signals and going counter trend is almost a guarantee of pretty consistent headaches. Now, it doesn't mean we can't get a scenario, right? If we get a longer sample like we're getting here on this 3-min, okay, now we have a little bit of an easier narrative to fall in love with. But the 1-min is just too noisy for my simpleton brain. Well, yeah, Brian. Like any strategy can work. Any type of technical analysis system can work, right? They all have their pros and cons. None of them work 100% of the time. So what I care about, basically, right, with my process is I want it to be consistent and repeatable because that allows me to basically be consistent and have a repeatable edge. So I keep my process simple because it allows me to then do the same thing over and over and over again and extract money from the market. Doesn't mean that other techniques or other forms of technical analysis don't work or can't work or whatever. They all absolutely can, but nothing here is like an absolute, right? No strategy, no technique, no indicator, no technique for picking levels is going to be the best. It's just what's best for you. And then once you find that thing that's best for you, you got to tune out all the other noise and just focus on that. So, yeah, I simply don't care. And I don't mean that like to insult you. It's just that I'm not going to intraday add new tools or new techniques to my strategy to then deviate away from my rules, if that makes sense. So maybe here's where we're getting that little fake out. Still pretty slow and grindy. So like really not not motivating price action so far. I don't know, maybe a little bit boring, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's been a great week so far. It's been a great, I don't know, 40 days at this point now. When was my last red day? My last red day was September 12th. So it's been a pretty good job here managing this, but we've done a good job managing it because we're picky, right? We're not just like rushing into dumb shit. We're not forcing dumb trades. We're not just trying to catch anything just because we want to feel alive. That's pretty positive in my opinion. I appreciate that, Nick. Definitely feel like in the last 6 months or so, as if I have taken another like step as a trader to a certain extent. It's been really fun. Like I feel like I got a like increased my level a little bit. I think so, Sonia. I think for sure. But the breaks help me from like just a mental capital perspective, right? During the week. So it's just like it keeps you fresh, right? It keeps you sharp. It does whatever. The main change, right? Or like the improvement I would say was just the obsession with collecting data, right? Noticing that okay, my technique is working really, really well, but I'm getting faked out and stopped out a bit too much. And making that change to go from the aggressive and pullback technique to using the fake out technique has solved that problem. So as much as it is the breaks, right? They for sure help, and I'm trying to be proactive there to not trade in burnout. It's the analyzing my problems and finding solutions to them that has helped me unlock that next tier. Yeah, so far, kind of a choppy mess still, guys. We're gonna be pretty patient. So at this point, right, if we're gonna play a breakout, we want it to clear through this chop range, right? Same thing kind of on NQ. Kind of want it clearing through that chop range. Yeah, Brian. The way I view trading, and this is, I mean, like I've been trading for 13 years, so I have some experience, but I'm not like some other people that I look up to who have been trading for 30 years or whatever. Um, but for me, trading is self improvement gamified, right? When I fix the things that cost me money and I find solutions to those problems, I end up making more money and loving this game more and more and more. So the market constantly kind of gives us feedback at things that we suck at. And we either have the choice to listen to that feedback and make changes, or we have the choice to ignore it and keep being idiots who are losing money. So it's our job, I think, as traders to have those like consistent, honest conversations with ourselves so that we have a clear picture of what we need to fix and what we suck at. And then we have to do the grunt work to basically fix those things. And the more and more that you fall in love with that feedback loop of, okay, let me fix my, emotional self-control, or let me fix my anger after a loss, or let me fix my ego because I can't accept a red day. When we fix those things, then the P&L kind of catches up, and doesn't always catch up the next day. Sometimes it takes a month, sometimes it takes a year. But just getting in love with that process, it for me has been very life-changing. I've talked about this in the past. I don't talk about it too much, but I kind of believe that like for me, to who I am as a trader now versus who I was when I first started trading 13 years ago, it's like I had to kill that old version of myself. And I don't mean that as like a negative thing necessarily, but I like the guy who I was years ago is very different than who I am now, and it's something that I'm extremely proud of. And so it's just that commitment to getting better. Like it has totally changed my life. Yeah, still so far so slow. All right, we got a bit of time. I'm just gonna refill up my coffee, guys. Be back in 1 second. And KX, I think we got a lot of people who are making quite a lot of money with the program. If you come back and you ask me that question in like a week or so, you'll be able to see the leaderboard of everyone's P&L, or people who submit their P&L, and you'll see how much money people are actually making here. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, we're getting close to it, guys. It's getting real close to being ready. So a few more days here working on it, and it's gonna be freaking kick ass. All right, so we have a setup here, right? High vol breakout through our chop zone, like we talked about. Now we want to see some sort of like fake out failure, right? Something that tells us that this isn't an exception, right? So, okay. Okay, let's be patient here. Okay, no, not a fake out, right? At least not by the looks of it. So kind of seems like it's a little bit of an exception, not necessarily an indication of clear trending PA yet. So again, one of those days where it's a little bit, yeah, a little bit slow is what it is. Not slow enough for me to consider trading CL, but maybe we'll get there. I'm just looking at the intraday here, right? So if I've seen price action on the daily stall at basically the same spot or the same zone, I'll basically just treat that as if it's the opening range, right? So let it then clear out under those wicks or above those wicks or whatever. So it's more just intraday, Sonia. Like, I want to be careful how I phrase this to a certain extent. But if for whatever reason I'm looking at my chart and I see something that I think could get in the way or could slow me down or could be a point of resistance, I'm not going to like try to grit my teeth and grunt through it. I'm just going to let the price action clear it and then hope that I can get an opportunity. It did close as a fake out on the 3 minute, but Hugo, I can't do a 100-point stop loss. It's too much. So I need a much tighter risk reward. We might be able to get this here now on the 2-min, right? Where, okay, didn't quite give me the fake out here on that first candle, but if we look at them back to back, subsequently, right, it kind of does look like a fake out. And then because we're at, you know, maybe 10 points of risk here, I have a much more higher probability of being able to get an entry. So this is maybe a little bit more likely than the 3-min, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have a setup here. Yeah, it's a little bit stupid so far. Okay, well, fuck that. Didn't even have a chance to do anything. Hey, kind of sounds like yeah, just worth being patient. But yeah, if you're back to flat, I would just go enjoy your life. Hey, good morning, Rusty. I appreciate that, NKX. I like my trading style too. He's been good to me. All right, today we have a chance, right, again for another little reversal scenario. I'd prefer it on NQ, obviously, right? I'm an NQ fiend. So there's a reversal, right? Potentially fake out lower, increasing outlier volume, bigger than a lot of the selling pressure, right? We saw in these initial lows. So again, we have a setup here, an active setup to the upside, but we're looking to see that bearish failure now, right? See bears fail in their attempts to reclaim control. Haven't seen that yet. So let's wait, right? And, you know, every bit of information we've seen here so far today is that we're better off being too cautious than too aggressive, right? So I'd rather assume that that's the case, right? Instead of thinking, ooh, this will be the exception. Of course, as I say that, now it rips like a freaking maniac, but yeah, that's just my luck. Okay, we got the 5 min, same type of signal. And again, we'd like to see a little fake out here. I can draw the fibs. It's probably not going to do it at this point. But we want to see it under 160. A little fake out under 160. And then if it creates that, we could go from there. Man, that's bouncy. That went from 190 to 172 in like a second. There's that little 160 fake out. So this is getting potentially interesting. So now we'd be looking at a stop loss at 154 for now. That's really bouncy though. Okay, there's another lower low. Want to be a bit careful still. No reference price drawn yet, guys, so I'm not looking at an entry yet. All right, please bear with me. All right, fuck you. What a choppy mess. Funny though, like first feeling I had when I woke up this morning, right, or looked at the chart this morning, first thought I had was trap day, right, or choppy, whatever, trick day, catch your breath day, and it's not like we got that right, I think, right? Like it certainly has not been a smooth trend day here yet, and it seems like every setup is seemingly failing. Weird how that works. You almost like speak it into existence sometimes. Yeah, yeah, it was. That's why the market is dangerous. It gives you that hope. We had we had a lot of nice moves yesterday prior to the move. I missed probably like 2 or 3 entries that I could have gotten. I just couldn't quite find my right entry. Not enough volume to play any of these as a rejection here yet. Like I probably missed 2 really good entries yesterday. And that would have made it an even more interesting day. So wiki. Look at the 10 min. Every candle's a freaking birthday cake. Goodness. Yeah, look, it's 10:30. I don't know how much action we're gonna get at this point. I'll keep watching for a little bit, but we shall see. Definitely not lost money today. I mean, support's going to be low of day, so for sure. But if this failed to sustain a move higher, I probably wouldn't expect this low to be like set in stone. Like I think the support here is going to be um yeah, more like an abusive parent or anything like that than something consistent. The lines are going to be blurred. Actually boring so far. I haven't felt like any excuse me. I haven't felt any like FOMO or anything like that even today. Like, oh man, like what a move. I haven't had any of that. Let's go, Jake. Congrats. Be a little bit careful doing those counter trend trades, but well done. So I was looking at my stats from the dashboard here a little bit. Obviously, I've been uploading my trades and making sure everything's been working fine. And this week, my average stop loss in NQ has been 7.5 points, which, considering the volatility that NQ has had, that's been freaking awesome. I love that so much. It seems so counterintuitive, but when things get choppy or things get volatile, you actually do want to tighten up your risk. You don't want to make it wider. It's better to have 3 shots at a trade than 1 shot type thing. And that's made life much easier. Let's go, Jake. Congratulations, man. How much you pulling out? freaking awesome. 5K payout. Let's go. 5K per account or 1K per account? Let's go, Jake. Congratulations, dude. How much is that this month then total? It's got to be pushing some good numbers, right? Woo! Congratulations, Jake. 7K this week in payouts. Let's fucking go. Nice work, man. I love to see the team doing well. It's still not gonna. We may have a chance to get the volume on this candle. Maybe have a chance. I would, yeah. Based on my rules, I'm about to be setting up for potential downside rip towards 23,800. So I would be very careful selling against high volume selling price action that's making new lows, right? That doesn't tell you any indication that bulls are in control. Very much front running the narrative. So I would be extremely careful. Like I said, he would be targeting a move towards 900. I think that that's the path of least resistance. Markets aren't open on the weekend, Roger, so I don't trade on the weekends. So we'd be looking at a stop loss of 991. That was very much a fake out, but maybe a little bit too quickly. Or like, yeah, just didn't give me a reasonable chance for an entry there. Ugh. That was a really quick fake out. No chance for an entry, so we'll reset this. Okay, so again, we should have an increasing volume profile. And targeting 900. Kind of starting to get a little bit greasy. So now again, right, we said 991 would be the potential stop loss. Kind of think I might want to fake out there a little bit to a certain extent. So no reference price draw, and I'm not looking for an entry yet. Let's see if it makes a higher high above 91 and then bounces back into that zone. I had you guys might laugh at this. Was why yesterday we had a trade. We were looking at a trade, and I was like saying, I think it's still gonna fake out again. And then about 5 minutes later, it faked out, and I didn't get my entry, and I didn't do whatever. I had actually multiple people message me about that. But someone messaged me about that, and they accused me of watching the market on a delay, which I laughed pretty hard at. And it's like, no, I just listen to what my gut tells me. But I appreciate the compliment. That's a very, very fair statement, Sonia. I like that. I might have to use that. Covered in Cheeto dust and Mountain Dew. Yeah. I'm looking for a failure, right? A failure from the other side. So at the moment, I want to see a fake out above 991.25. That's what I'm looking for. So a fake out above this red line. And then if it makes a higher high above it, for it to basically be like pulled back to earth extremely aggressively back under. Oh, there's our potential fake out. Now I want to see a really aggressive rejection. Better. So that would give me some confidence that I could have a stop loss there at 2401. Let's see how this closes. The increase in volume is kind of scaring me a little bit. Okay, so I'd be looking at an entry, let's call it around there, 91 or better. And give it a second, right? It jumped up there pretty quickly towards that 91. So stop loss would be, I'll call it 2402. Short. Got close again, but no cigar. Okay, guys, I am in average price 95 on the dot. Oh, I just got stopped out. I might try this again. Let's see. That would be a 2408 or call it 2409 stop. Now higher. That was very bouncy. That was green, red, dead. All right, so 2413 would have to be the stop. And then I would change this reference price to be a little bit higher up. That's a bit of a nasty fake. All right, so I'm back in 2408. And way too bouncy and choppy. I just got stopped out again, so I'm going to take a break there from that thesis. Two stabs at it, neither of them worked. Quite the rip higher now. Jeez. Okay, unlikely to get the increasing volume I want to play a reversal, so still watching. Yeah, two stop losses, down about $800. And still could be in play, but it's being a temperamental little piece of shit. Okay, so now we could be looking at a little reversal scenario here, right? Failed move to the downside, multiple failed moves to the downside, back up above into that quote unquote chop zone. So now we could be looking. Was it 7:45, 10:45? So we got lots of time still. Okay, so we do have a setup here to the upside now. Stop losses have to be just under 24,000 for now, or we want to see a fake out, right? Somewhere indicate. Can't justify this from a position sizing perspective at the moment. It's a little bit too big. Again, idea is not dead here for this reversal now to the upside. We just need to get an appropriate position sizing, basically entry. I can't be risking 50 odd points here. It's too much. $1,000 a contract, that's too much. Okay, give it a second here. Not bad close. Okay, so now this is where we would set our stop loss. Let's see. So stop would be at 54. A reference price right around there. And so we'll go stop loss at 51. All right, guys. I am in 057.25. 057.25. Stop loss 51. I'm sorry. This thing freaking exploded right away. Okay, pretty bouncy on this. So I got to make sure I'm managing this effectively here. Okay, but so far so good. There's 3K. Holy smokes, that was a fast 3K. There's 4K. Let's see if we can get over 24,000 and hold it now. If we can, we're going to be in really good shape. Again, sorry about this one, guys. This one ran so fast. I literally called my price out and it was up 20 points. I'm sorry. Nice work. All right, good, good. So you guys knew what I was thinking. Perfect. Okay, let's see if this thing's got legs to get through 24,000. Don't like that. Way too bouncy. Holy Jesus. Let's see if it's got legs to get through 24-1. It's struggling a little bit. I'm a bit worried about like it rug pulling me a little bit. It's doing this bullshit. Well, spoke that into existence. Fuck me. That wasn't great. Nice work, Jake. Let's go, Joe. I made a mistake on that one, guys. I got stopped out. Honestly, don't know how. We'll potentially try this again on this freaking fake out bullshit. Now stop would be in the 20 range. Let's go, Joe. Congratulations. Okay, I'm going to get my revenge. Okay, so I'm back in 27.75. Stop loss at 14. Okay, let's see if it can push. Dick. All right. I gotta close this. I'm out of this, guys. I'm out of this. Don't like that reaction. So I'm gonna take my $600. Try this again potentially. I can't believe I didn't take profit on that previous trade though. That was dumb. Oh, life. Okay, so still in business here. Just trying to get a tight risk reward to justify taking a punt. So then we'll go stop loss at 37. Reference price would be like that. Oh, that's so mean. Really depends, right? Ideas, JH. Every person's a little bit different. Everyone has a different number that breaks them. How many trades in a row that I can stomach is probably different than how many trades in a row you can stomach. I've kept all my losses to be under $500, which is my max loss number. So I don't particularly feel too tilted or too annoyed. More just frustrated that I let a big green trade turn into a red trade. But everyone has a different number that breaks them. Don't rely on mine. Find yours and be proactive. Generally, I would say I can take 5 losses in a row before I get a little bit frustrated. But that's different for everyone. So be selfish. Don't try to be me. Try to be you. Okay, I'm 1 for 3 on the day so far. Down about $1,000. The dashboard I'm launching will give you a calculation to figure out how many losses in a row you can stomach. So if you bear with that, you'll have that information. But again, right, my mental capital, how it goes is different than your mental capital. So you need to figure out what your max loss number is, what your points are that break you, and build out your risk management from there. It's like you wouldn't go to the gym and see someone else's weights and be like, oh, like I like the way that guy looks. Let me do the same weights that he's doing. And it's, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his peak Olympia phase, and he's squatting 1 billion pounds. Well, if you would do that, right, that pressure or that weight would crush you. But if you did like a squat of 150 pounds, you're probably in a lot better shape, right? You're not going to get hurt. So everyone needs to find out what that number is for them, right? That number where they can take a loss and not get tilted. Because trying to use someone else's and not doing that internal investigation yourself is a surefire way to actually get tilted. Does that make sense? So I'm not trying to give you a cop-out answer. I'm trying to give you more information so you actually can fix whatever your problem is. Not a fake out, so we're gonna have to stay away. Absolutely cannot. Been a very low ball pullback, so I'm not necessarily scared of this yet. But I'm trying to find reasonable risk reward. Doesn't look terrible, actually. All right, so maybe we can get a look here. We want it to be something like that. So stop loss would be 15. All right, guys, I am in 29.50. Terrible reaction. Good entry for about a second. There it is. Oh, you dick. What? Okay, I'm gonna really focus, guys, on closing this because this is so bouncy. So looking for my exit here, looking for my exit. I'm trying to get it out as P&L is increasing. Come on. All right, I'm out, guys. I am out. I closed that trade. Closed that trade at 38.75. So again, I will potentially try this again, but I hated the way that it was behaving at my entry timing, right? It was giving me like 10-point jumps and then 10-point dumps, 10-point jumps, 10-point dumps. That does not tell me that my entry timing was correct. But I will take that, right? Puts me to a little bit green on the day, like $25 on the day. Call me Warren Buffett. I'm fucking minted. Let's go, Roberto. Good man. Again, guys, right? Like, not every trading day is going to have to be super smooth, but if we focus on our risk management and we focus on closing as P&L is increasing, we're always one or two decisions away from being back at all-time highs in our portfolio. Ultimately, that's what our objective is. Like, my strategy isn't necessarily like I'm not necessarily the smartest trader in the world, right? Or the world's best trader, but I'm a little bit better at managing risk than the average trader, right? My ability to lose small, my ability to gamify losing makes it easy for me to actually be green. That's really all I'm doing, right? I'm trying to give myself scenarios where I have asymmetric upside and where I have basically a disproportionate small loss if I'm wrong. That's like really all I'm searching for here, right? I actually do have a P&L correction for you guys. I'm sitting at 149.35. 149.35. Let's go, old dude. Good man with the risk management. That's the dream right there. Oh, have you seen the cost of food these days, Nick? I don't know if that'll cover it. How's everyone holding up? Everyone okay? Nice work, Nick. Good man. Everyone green or near green? Oh, Kath, don't rub that in my face. Come on, that's not fair. All right, good man, James. Like that. I've taken the long road towards being a small green. You've taken the short road, so that's perfect. Let's go, Aaron. Congratulations, almost $1,000 here today. Let's go. Yeah, today has not been an easy trading day, not whatsoever. Show me 1,500. Let's go. Congratulations. Hey, Hank, that's still good risk management. No, I pretty much only trade NQ, pretty much. Every now and then I'll trade ES or CL, but I'm an NQ guy through and through. Let's go, CD. $600 on the day, just about. That's awesome. Dave, you're up $1,000. Walk away, right? Like, the fuck you doing? Walk away. It's not hard to do. Go enjoy your morning, right? Go for a coffee. Go for a walk on the beach. You don't have to torture yourself and keep watching, right? It's not going to make you any better. Be proactive, not reactive. Like, fuck, guys. The way we talk about walking away from our computer screens is honestly pathetic. In any other job, if you were told, hey, you've done all your work day for the early, you can go home and enjoy your weekend, you would take it and run. But for whatever reason, when that's the case with trading, you're like, no. Let me make another $200. Let me make another $1,000. And then you ruin your day. So come on, guys. Like, don't be idiots. Protect yourself from yourself. Easiest way to do that is to literally walk away. I can't stand that as an excuse because it's not hard to do. So we need to sort that shit out, guys. Enough of the self-sabotage is completely unreasonable. Like the way that people talk about walking away from their computer, it's like they're talking about summiting Mount Everest. What the fuck? Not that. Go enjoy your day. Don't place another trade. Don't give yourself an opportunity to break a pattern, right? Or to break a rule. Guys, we got to be a lot more selfish in protecting ourselves. And trying to turn $1,000 into 1,500, you're probably more likely to turn it into 5. Right? Because if you're thinking from a P&L perspective, you're going to go and you're going to give it all back, because the second the P&L doesn't go in your direction, you're going to revenge trade until you do, and then everything will disappear. So you can entirely avoid that problem by shutting off your computer and throwing on a Netflix show, right? Like, it's not hard. Like, I'm telling you to go be lazy. That's not fucking hard. It's so infuriating for people to say that, because it's like they're giving themselves permission to self-sabotage. So stupid. Right? Like, Dave, what are you doing here? You should be on the beach. Right? You made your money. Take it and run. Go enjoy your life. Like, guys, think about it this way, right? Let's pretend that you're all millionaire day traders at this point, right? You're making a ton of money. You're super financially successful. Would you really want to be spending 80 hours a week staring at your screen? Or would you rather go play a round of golf, or spend time with your family, or be at your kid's baseball game, or go for a hike with your dog? You'd rather do all those things instead of being a slave to your computer. So now when you're learning, why are you so committed to becoming a slave to your computer and getting addicted to that feedback loop instead of doing the things that you actually want to do? Optimize for freedom, not for money. Because when you're chasing that P&L or you're chasing that number, you're just going to make dumb decisions chasing that number when you don't hit it. Like, I don't know how much content I have to make about this for it eventually to sit in your guys' brains. But that's like literally the most important concept we can talk about here on a daily basis. Optimize for freedom, not P&L. You will never be satisfied chasing a P&L number. There will always be more that you can make, right? Or you can chase. And because the market moves quickly, there's always this hopium that the next one's going to be a big monster. And we have no evidence that we can actually trade successfully once we start to have those thoughts. So why are we willing to basically keep feeding that beast? And then, oh no, poor me. I lost money because I couldn't stop over trading. Like, you're a fucking asshole. I'm sorry, right? But you're complaining about something that you had complete control over. You're giving yourself that victim mentality. You're making things worse for yourself. And then you're not actually fixing the problems you want. How much better would life be if you just worked 90 minutes a day and you go and enjoyed the rest of your life? Like, I can't fucking stand that victim bullshit. Oh, I can't believe I have the self-control to walk away. You're a fucking loser when you say that, because you do have the self-control. You're just giving yourself the excuse to not do it. It is so pathetic. Make your money. You made $1,000 in 2 hours. How is that not enough? Right? How is that not enough? So stop lying to yourselves, guys, and actually start compounding by making it easy for yourself to go enjoy your life. No, you don't, right? We get paid for our decisions, not our time. And the best decision that most of us can make most of the time is to protect ourselves from ourselves. So, like, I can't stand that as an excuse. It's fucking infuriating because it is the easiest one to fix. Like, Dave, I'm going to say it again. Why are you still here? Sign off, man. Go enjoy your day. Don't tempt fate. What are you doing? You're tempting, man. No, you're not learning, because learning is walking away and enjoying your life and being satisfied. You're sticking around hoping we're going to find another trade like a crack addict. Stop, man. Take your money and run. Enjoy your life. Like, you're not doing this because you want to spend time in front of the screen. You're doing this because you say you want freedom, financial and time. Yet your actions don't match your words, right? Make your actions sync up with your words and you will make a lot more money. It's crazy. If you're green on the day, guys, it's Friday. It's 11, 12 in the morning. You know how many people would kill to be in your situation where they don't have to work the rest of the day now? You know how lucky of a scenario that is? You know how special that is, right? And yet we take it for granted and we want to work more. Fuck. Guys, what are we doing? I don't get that. I don't get the addiction to the self-sabotage of making ourselves feel like shit. You had a great result. You've had a good week. You've already had a mistake, right? Where you were up green and you're like, oh, I can do more. And then you've given it all back. Why wouldn't you want to avoid that at all costs? Right? Where if you walk away green, you actually lock in a nice green day. Now over the weekend, you get this warm and fuzzy feeling, right? Oh, I'm actually getting better. I'm improving. I can see the money starting to compound, right? I can see the improvement. I can see my equity curve going up, not down. And then now when you come back on Monday to trade with us, right? All of a sudden, you've got a nice reminder. Hey, when I'm disciplined, when I behave how I say I'm going to behave, I make a lot more money and you're not going to feel as much of a lure as you did the previous day. And you keep fixing those problems day after day, trade after trade. And You fix those problems by being proactive, not reactive. There's nothing I can say to you guys after you've entered a trade that will make you feel better, right? So you have to decide how you want to feel before you place that trade. That's the reality. And then once you're happy with the trading day, right? You're up a little bit. You're outside of your kill zone window. Why would you want to ruin that feeling? I don't get it. You're just lying to yourself saying, ooh, I'm working hard. I'm getting better. No, you're not. You know what the scoreboard for getting better is? Your P&L. So if you keep making decisions that evaporate all your P&L, you're not getting better. You're getting worse, objectively. So why would we want to do that? Don't understand. Like, trading is a game of avoiding our most obvious mistakes, right? So if we know what our obvious mistakes are, and then we're like, yeah, fuck it, let me get another line of my mistakes and sniff it up my nose until I'm a big Coke guy. You're an idiot, right? Like, we shouldn't be addicted to that self-sabotage. Like, what the hell is that going to accomplish? Right? We're all here because we want to make money. We're all here because we want to get better. So when we make money, why are we willing to throw that away? Oh, the hope of making more. Fucking loser with that shit. Not saying you're a loser as a person. I'm saying you're a loser as a trader, right? Which means that you're losing money. And it's so unnecessary. And then selfishly, from my perspective, right, I got to have a one-on-one call with you and say, oh, it's going to be okay. You need to learn how to believe in yourself and say how you're going to behave. Like, that's so dumb for me to have to say that to an adult, right? We should all have the ability to protect ourselves from ourselves. We shouldn't need the hand-holding to do that. We need to be more selfish in pursuing our best interests. And our best interests aren't what we think they are, right? Like, the other reality here, guys, is that none of us are going to feel rich after a single trading day. Yet most of us, when we're making emotional trading decisions, are trading as if we will. Right? It's not the reality. Like, I hate to break it to you guys, but none of you are going to have $1 million trading day in the live stream one day. Right? At least not anytime soon. So why are we acting as if we're one trade away or one day away from being freaking billionaires? It's not the reality. So why do we reinforce behaviors that trigger that dopamine and feed that addiction? Right? Doesn't make any sense. And yeah, it's fucking pathetic. It's so ridiculous. Walking away is literally the easiest thing that we can do. Throw on an episode of Ted Lasso, right? Put on some podcast. Do whatever. And enjoy your win. It's crazy that we don't want to do that sometimes. Can't comprehend it. We say we're here, we want to make money. When we make money, it's not enough. It's never going to be enough on a daily, right? But if you make 100 good days in a row, or a year's worth of trading in a row, or a month's worth of trading in a row, where you follow your rules, you stick to your process, you execute your plan, you protect yourself from yourself, okay, now we're going to start making some cash. Now we're going to start to be able to compound. Now we're going to start to be able to pay for those big ticket items that we all crave. Why skip steps and elongate that process, guys? Why give ourselves excuses to do those things and make things worse? We can't. We got to stop with that. It is so unnecessary and it is so easy to avoid. Everyone get what I'm saying here? Yeah, but Victor, right? You walked away from a losing day today. That's just as tough. But you know what you did, right? You walked away before you made it worse, and you put yourself in a situation where you need one good trade on Monday, or one good trade on Tuesday to get back to where you need. And instead of blowing up your account and now needing to either reset or completely restart the process and kill your thing, you've made it easy to survive your mistakes. That's the game we're playing, guys, right? That's the game. It's not who makes the most money on an intraday basis. That's noise. It's bullshit. It's not real. Right? So why are we, turning it into these life or death situations? It's so ridiculous. Look, that's my probably impassioned rant for the day. I don't know if I've got much energy for another one of that intensity, but it is something, guys, I truly do care about. It is a very important concept, right? Like, we can't give ourselves permission to self-sabotage ourselves, subconscious or consciously. We can't do it. We can't get addicted to that feedback loop because we can get addicted to it, right? And then that creates like that death of hope feeling where like the market is rigged against me, right? Type sensation. And that's not the reality, right? But we then, because we're so far into our emotional trading decisions, we can't see the forest from the trees. And so that we don't realize that it's actually our behaviors that are making it feel as if the market is rigged. Right. And then so then we don't take any accountability. We don't change anything. We don't change any of our habits. And we stay stuck in these feedback loops that we don't want to be in, instead of fixing the stuff that actually costs us and makes us money. Look, Roger, I'm all in on you guys being successful. 100%, man. I take a lot of pride in that. I'm extremely passionate about it. I do love it. Well, like, my job here is I can only show you guys the way, right? Like, I can show you the path. I can show you what it takes. I can try to give you as many pump up speeches as I can, but we all have to make that own decision for ourselves. Did you just book a call, CD? Can you send me a screenshot of it? So send me a screenshot in Discord. I don't know how someone would have your email to be able to send that to you. Yeah, Brian, sure, but probably won't respond, truth be told. I get enough of emails from members where I need to prioritize them. If you have any questions, reach out to your DTR advisor and they'll be able to help you. Huh. It's an invitation to join a group chat on Zoom. I don't think I did that, but that's weird. Got my correct email, so yeah. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't appear like it's a impersonator, like it's the me. Okay, so Derek, you say you get the same thing whenever I join your Zoom room. Okay. Copy this, just paste this in the chat. It is from my correct email. It's from the Zoom email. So maybe there's just like a yeah, so if you removed your volume candles, you just go to where the candles are by the time frame and you switch it to volume candles away from normal candles or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean they're mostly on Discord. Well, that won't be an issue for much longer once we move to this dashboard, but yeah, please be aware guys, there are piece of shit scammers that want to steal your money. Ugh. What a life we live, guys. What a life. Oh yeah, you know, I mean, I'm not complaining. And I say that out of gratitude. Like I was supposed to be a lawyer. That's what I studied in school. I went to law school. And every now and then I just sit there and I think, holy fuck, I'd be miserable if I did that. I think about that a lot. %, Brian. One of the things I feel, yeah, luckiest about is I've only ever been a trader, right? So like I fell in love with trading 3 months into law school. And I knew like right then and there that was what I was supposed to do with my life. Like literally the second I saw a trading desk, I knew that's what I was supposed to do. And I feel so lucky for that. Yeah. I know. Could you guys imagine me as an accountant? Like, oh my God, you fucking asshole. You put it in line 12BA7 wrong, going straight to jail. I'd get negligence charges brought up against me so damn fast. Hey, that's not fair. That's not fair. It's passion. It's not anger. It's passion. I'm like Latina when I trade. Honestly, like I get uh that's that's such a funny line, Rusty. I mean, I'm potentially interested a little bit here, Derek. I am. If we can get something to sync up, I'm a little bit concerned that the volume isn't like still above outlier, but does seem like it is maybe a little bit motivated to climb higher. I'm also like kind of feeling like, maybe I just call it. Ain't that the truth, cat? And it's not increasing outlier. It's like kind of meh. But look, I mean, I could theoretically. I mean, there is a setup I could trade here for sure. I would need to see a fake out under 174 first. Oh, but yeah, like I don't know if you guys think that, the way that I behave on a trading, like when I'm trading with you guys, is maybe unprofessional or immature or whatever it might be. You guys need to see a trading desk in its heyday. That the energy that you got there, imagine me times 12 and with probably a bigger ego. All right, so we've seen maybe a little bit of a fake out here. We might have a bit of a scenario. I'd be looking at like a 165 stop loss. Reference price, probably about there-ish. So watch this pullback here carefully. Yep, that was way too fast. I'm going to try this again. That could be a much better fake out. Wait again. Still no entry on this idea, right? So when I say try again, I'm talking about stop loss location. Fuck it. We're going to be looking at this to the downside. That's way too much volume, increasing outlier, big rejection back under its psych level. So we're looking for a downside move here towards low of day. Okay, now we got that possible fake out. Let's see if it can now snap back. And it'd be a short here, guys, that we're looking at, right? With a stop loss of 175. It'd have to be higher now. Still no entry on this. Still no reference price drawn, right? So be patient, please. Stop would be 183 now. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Oh, come on. Look at the red line, Brian, right? So the red line tells you my direction. If the red line's on top, it's a short. If it's at the bottom, it's a long, right? This red line is going to be where my stop loss is. All right, guys, I'm in. I got terrible fill. Well, let's see. 171.25 is my fill. Absolutely horrific. Okay, I just got stopped. We'll potentially try this again. Classic. So try this again, potentially. Okay, guys, I'm back in 188.50. Amazing entry. Let's go. See, this thing can clutch up and flush. That's 2K pretty much right away. Sorry, I don't know what I was doing there. Trying to figure out my thought process. Yeah, one more decent flush here. Oh, don't like that. Come on, push, push, push. There it goes. Crush under 160. Too bouncy. God, this thing is temperamental. Um, okay, well, I'm out of this, guys. I mean, I took a little win on that. That's now breaking out here to the upside. Let's be a little bit careful. Bit fucking bouncy. That puts me at now minus 425 on the day. Still enough volatility. I got to be a little bit careful fighting that greed a tad. Because things are moving fast. It becomes kind of like that hidden bias that you think they're going to move fast forever, when that isn't necessarily the reality or the most likely outcome. Okay, so now I mean potentially be getting a breakout scenario here. Targeting, we could go 2R here, right? Our 2R level. Again, let's see if it can create a little fake out spot, and then we can go long. And then this would likely be my last attempt here. And I'm just not going to be a greedy prick if I trade this. So that would set stop loss for now 204. If we can pull back here nice and gentle, you're looking at maybe a little bit lower than that. 10 points or less, kind of what I'm hoping for. Too fast, way too fast. So now we'd be a 191 stop loss, and that's much better. See a gentle pullback here under 200 now is what I'm hoping for. Nice and gentle. Maybe do that. Stop loss at 203. All right, guys, I'm in 210 as my entry price. 210 as my entry price. Quick $1,000. We can keep pushing, keep push. Okay, I've closed that, guys. I've closed that. I'm going to try it again. Yeah, I'm not going to be a greedy prick here. That was $850. We'll try this again. Right? Like I made a mistake not taking my profit aggressively enough on previous trades. Not going to make that same mistake on this one. Right? Okay, puts me back to green on the day here. Quick little 13 points. We'll take that. Maybe it was a premature leap, but fine. How's everyone feeling? Everyone green? Not bad, Derek. Okay. Okay, so I'll be looking at like a 210 stop loss here. Just missed my entry. Let's see if it pulls back again. And what I mean just missed my entry is it just didn't pull into my entry zone, right? It was like a point or two away. All right, guys, I'm back in 216 on the dot. 216 on the dot. Stop loss 210. Pretty bouncy. Don't like that too much. All right, see if we can go. There it pops. Fuck, I don't like the way that's feeling. I've just closed, guys. I closed at 218. Quick 2 points. Yeah, it didn't feel like my entry timing was perfect. And it feels like it might want to chop and drop. So I'm going to be careful here. And so now if we get an entry here, it'd be stop loss 206. All right, guys, and I'm back in 214.25, stop loss 206. Don't like that again. So I'm closing, guys. I closed at 222, out at 222. Just a little bit choppy in these entries, and I'm just scalping away, taking little profits. I think realistically, though, I'm probably going to kill it here for the day because I've tried this thesis now 3 times. Both or all 3 times, it's effectively gotten stuck and not moved. Audrey, let's go. Congratulations. Pass your eval, only trading micros. That's awesome. Well done. You be very proud of yourself, Audrey. Today was not an easy day to manage that extra pressure, and you did it very gracefully. Congratulations. So good decision, guys, to close where we did, right? If we enter a trade and it doesn't give us that green right away, right? What else are we wrong about? So in these circumstances, it keeps giving us these little cracks and little moves, and then we just take them and run. Take them and run. So Nick, right? You got to really focus on closing as the P&L is increasing there, not on the pullback, right? On the pump higher. Really got to be the focus in those situations. Yeah, good decision, guys, to close where we did, right? Trade wasn't giving us the move that we wanted. We take our little wins and we move on. But you know what? It's turned into a pretty nice day in the end. Sitting at 1824 and some change. Not too shabby. Everyone feeling good? Audrey, you should be celebrating. Jason, let's go. Hey, Jason, if it's your first payout day, take it and run, right? Go enjoy your Friday. Send me a message with your payout certificate. Let's fucking go. Love to see this team. Freaking awesome. My YouTubers, how you guys doing? Let's go, Rusty. $1,800. My man. That's per account too, right? You're one of those psychos running about 1 million accounts. So well done, sir. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Rach B. What do you think contributed to the red day? What a life. Oh. Hopefully it's not one of those Blue Mountain State oil changes, but otherwise sounds like a nice productive afternoon there, Market Miner. Enjoy. that still might mean it's still a Blue Mountain State oil change, but hey, enjoy, Brian. Hope you had a good week in the trial. Yeah, maybe worse. Exactly. All right, guys. Any other questions here? Any other questions? There's not really a best prop firm or a worst prop firm. They're all pretty similar. All right, guys. Any other questions here? Any other questions? All right. So we got a second here before we go away. Who wants to see the dashboard? I want to see the dashboard, what it's looking like. All right. So let's see. All right. So homepage, right? You guys can all see my screen, right? All right. So homepage opens up your core trading statistics, right? And we have a couple scores here. So we have a trading score, a knowledge score, and a risk management score. The risk management score and the trading score are based on the data that you upload right into the dashboard. So it qualifies basically, how well you're trading, and then changes some of the suggested tolerances, and goes from there. For now, Nick, I don't have the ability to automatically log in. It's honestly just very expensive to set up. The TradingView API costs like 50 grand and then like 3,500 bucks a month. So I don't have really the ability to do that at the moment. Where did my preview go? One sec here, guys. Sorry. It's really simple. All you have to do is import a Excel file. Super easy to do, and it can handle any type of whatever. I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, okay. Well, I figured it out. Okay, one sec here. All right, should be back now. All right, so you get that main dashboard here. Where we said trader score based on data that you upload, risk management score based on how well you're following your trading rules. If you go into your settings tab, right, this is where you can set up your trading rules. So you can set up your max loss per trade. You can set up your max number of trades you want to take per day. And if you break those rules, right, that's going to impact your risk management. If you follow those rules, right, that's going to keep your risk management going. We're just talking about the dashboard here now. Kiki, not going to be placing any further trades. So from there, you then get like a calendar view. You get more insights telling you how much tilt you have, what your potential would be, and if you had traded at your max, what your P&L potential would have been for that day, the week, the month, and then some little tips and tricks, right, on how you can fix some of your pain points. If you then go into individual trades and you look them up, it will show you the chart of them, show you your entry, your exit, and then tell you things that you did well, things that you can improve, what your tilt score was of it, what your trade score was of it, and you're able to, basically get a lot more data. You'd be able to add notes here if you want, whatever. From there, we have a leaderboard. So everyone who uploads trades into their data or into their dashboard will be added to the leaderboard, right? As long as they're profitable, and we'll be able to see, how much they made and what their ranking is and all that kind of stuff on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. We're also going to have a live chat feature here where people are going to be able to message and their rank on the leaderboard will be highlighted, right? So if you're uploading your data and you're showing people that you're crushing it, now we'll have your rank on the leaderboard and you'll be able to flex your ability here a little bit, and maybe people will listen to your comments and messages just a little bit better. So a really cool feature there. There's a direct messages feature. This is where you import your trades. And then we have a course tab, right? So we're going to have all three of the courses that are uploaded there, and a quiz associated with each course. So when you start the quiz, it'll bring up questions associated with that, and you have to pass the quiz prior to being able to get to the next section. Completing the quizzes and getting good scores is then going to increase your knowledge score and make this statistic look even better. This is generated based on how many times you watch the stream, what your quiz scores are, and how much content you've gone through. Once you've completed all the courses and all the quizzes, you'll be able to regenerate them. So if you want to go through a topic and you want to test that your knowledge is still where it should be, you'll be able to reset the questions and then go through that process again. Doing more quizzes and more stuff along those lines will improve basically your knowledge score. The next thing here we want to go over is then the advanced statistics. So this gives us a bunch of trading data that I'm going to rely on quite heavily when we're doing coaching. So I'll be able to see what your guys' expected value is per trade, what your average risk return is per trade, your P&L, your max loss, your Sortino ratio, your Omega ratio, your risk of drawdown, your risk of ruin, right? How long it takes you, the probability of you having X amount of losses in a row, yada, 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 and then more trades here. The data here, guys, it's random for now, so I wouldn't put too much stock into it, just populating to make sure that everything works. I have tested it with real data, no issues, but this will also give you another breakdown, right, of your behaviors. Here in your behavior tab, you're going to get stats on basically win rate by hour, win rate by day of week, and then a overview of the rules that you're breaking, the most common rules that you break, and then solutions on how to fix them. And then this is kind of just like a overarching kind of structure view That tells you what your average stop size is, what your average standard deviation of stops is. So how consistent basically your losers are, what your average win is, right? Your average risk reward, and then gives you some strategy insights into things that we are seeing. We'll have a bunch of other stuff I still need to complete and finish out, but there. When you go into the calendar view, you'll be able to view trades from that day specifically. So if I wanted to look at this loss, right, I could look at it and see, okay, I broke a rule, exceeded a max loss of $500, right? Broken rule means that my tilt potential is quite high, right? Because I've broken a rule. So now I'm likely to do whatever. And it gives me various statistics. As I then import more and more data, it's going to be dynamically impacting this set of stats here. So your loss tolerance, your streak tolerance, and your max daily loss. So your loss tolerance is telling you how much you can reasonably expect to lose per trade before risking significant amounts of tilt. This tells you, based on your trading strategy, how many trades you can take in a row before needing a break. And then this tells you what your max daily loss should be without you being able to go on tilt. Now, these are obviously estimations. They're going to be a starting point, right, for people to use and to work off of. But it's going to be really, really cool for everyone to have that information and for it to be based on their trading. Obviously, the higher their tilt score becomes, the lower their streak tolerance is, right? So if your tilt score is 10, the streak tolerance is going to say, take a break, right? Take the day off, whatever it might be. And it'll fill out a lot of that information. The gambler score here is also something that's pretty interesting. So it's going to punish you for over trading, for breaking rules, for exceeding your max loss number, things along those lines. And if you have a high gambler score, right, not good. If you have a low gambler score, a lot better. But yeah, I think this will give us a ton of information over what we're able to accomplish. And we're going to be able to see a lot of really, really cool stuff. As the administrator, so this is, you guys are having the view that I would get of my platform. I'll be able to see everyone's trades, right? So obviously these are all just like random people who have been committed or whatever in the program just to test if everything's working. And if I click them, right, now I'll be able to see your trading stats, how you're trading, what we need to fix on, and we can use these dashboard statistics as like a foundation for our future one-on-one calls. That's all I can see. I can't see any of your like your personal information or anything along those lines. There's not going to be any payment method stored on this website or anything like that. So it'll be nice and secure for everyone. But that's kind of like a very brief overview over what this dashboard is going to be like. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be incredibly empowering for a lot of traders and for a lot of people. And yeah, I can't wait for it to be launched. I think it's going to be freaking awesome. Any questions about it, guys? Any features that you think it's missing? Hopefully for Monday, Steven. Hopefully for Monday. We'll be running a Black Friday promo for people to use this for free. So if you're in my email list, keep an eye out for it. You'll get an invite. So any questions, guys? Any questions? Not really, Roberto, right? So the data that it's pulling is what your entry price was, what your exit price was, position sizing, right? So that's what you get from your, like when you download a file with your trading data, right? It doesn't track that information right in that file. So that's something that you'd be able to add as like a note. No, Austin, it'll be a existing add-on. There won't be anything that you need to purchase or anything along those lines. If you're a DTR premium member, you guys will all get access to this. And then we'll have a place, obviously, where the stream is hosted, and where you can join the live stream, right? And then the chat, we'll be able to pop this out so you can have the chat up when you're typing messages and we're talking about things, and we'll be good to go. So everyone will have access to everything here. It's going to be really freaking cool. I think so too, Roberto. It's going to make my job as a coach much easier because I'm going to have all the data I need to be able to give you guys good feedback. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah. So this is going to be replacing Discord, guys, right? For full disclosure, that is the intention of it. It is going to be replacing Discord. I like Discord as a platform, but the amount of scammers and scumbags and pieces of shit that Discord refuses to do anything about makes it untenable to keep using. So this will be our little trader hub. Yes, sir. So you'll go to the leaderboard and you'll be able to see everyone who's uploaded their trades, you know, P&L, their rankings. You'll be able to find yourself on here when you search. Yeah, so all the courses are going to be here, right? So in the courses tab, so these are DTR basics, right? The trading psychology, and then how DTR trades, right? Those are those courses. The library will have every single video like in the trading docs. So in the same way, I'll be able to add videos here, nice and easy, right? Stuff like that. So it's going to replace everything we have in Discord, but be better. Truth be told, it's going to be better. So everyone will be able to log in and join the stream and do all that kind of fun stuff. So it's going to be awesome. All right, guys, any questions? I got to jump off here. Any questions? Final call. Yeah. Anything that you think is missing? I'm going to finish this up this weekend and hopefully get it hosted somewhere we can handle all of us. Yeah, we're good. Love to hear that, Ian. Yeah, it was an awesome trading week. Yeah, I got a few more things I still want to add here, but we're pretty close. I reckon another 12 hours today of working on this, and then a couple days to migrate over everything to a nice web hosting service, and we'll be great. But yeah, can't wait for you guys to be able to use this. It's going to be really fun. And I personally think it's going to be the best coaching platform in the industry. So we're going to crush it, guys. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Where thing from yesterday? All right, final call, guys. Final call. What a rip, NQ. All right, sweet. So same deal like always, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours. But enjoy your weekends, and I'll see you on Monday. Peace.